Greetings everyone, welcome back to our channel. In this video I will show you how to manage school fees. I will show you the basic things that you can do as a bursar on this system. When you log in for the first time, which things should you do so that you can get started using this system? So we shall see how to set the fee structure, we shall see how to manage the bursaries, how to record payments, how to generate the receipt, and so on and so on. So the first thing you need to do is to set the fee structure. But before you set the fee structure, you need to set the fees categories. So go to this icon here, select fees categories. Fees categories, these are the different types of fees that you pay in your school. Things like school fees, things like library fees, things like building fund, things like very many kinds of fees that you can collect from students. So I'm going to add 3 fees categories. The first one is school fees. I can say it is the main fees collected from students. So you can add any description. We pay it per term, and it is mandatory for each student. We can record that. The second fees category that I will add is the building fund. We are trying to set up some buildings, so we need money for the building. The third category is the library fees. It is paid termly and it is mandatory, and I can add that one. So once you have added the fees categories, the second thing is to set the fee structure. So go to fee structure, add the fees. So we set the fee structure per class depending on the classes that you have. So I'm going to begin with senior 1. I'm going to set the fee structure for only 2 classes. For the interest of time, I'm only going to set for senior 1. Then you can, when you have enough time, you can set for senior 2, senior 3, and senior 4, and so on. So I'm going to select senior 1. I begin with day scholars. These ones, they pay 200,000 for school fees. They pay 50,000 for the building fund and 20,000 for the library fees. Those are the day scholars. The boarders, senior 1 boarder. These ones, they pay 250,000 for the school fees, 50,000 for the library, for the building fund, and 20,000 for the library fees. We add that one also. Then you can go on and add for other classes, but for the interest of time, I'm only going to consider this. We shall only be dealing with senior 1. So once you have set the fee structure, the second step is now to record the payment. So how do you record the payment? Go to student fees and then start recording. Whenever a student pays, this is where we record school fees from. So I think I'm going to record payment for Kenya, for this student here. So when if you see this page, it displays the figures depending on the fee structure and how much has been paid by the student and the balance. So according to the fee structure we have set, students in senior 1 will be paying 270 in total, they haven't paid anything, so the balance is still the fees that we set for them. So let's record the payment. This student is going to pay in cash. Here we are supposed to put the RIN number, but because the RIN number is something that is hard to memorize, you just write the name. The student is called Kanyachi Julius. So you select the student, and then the RIN number writes itself. You record the school fees. The student has paid 150, and he has paid the building fund. He has also paid the library fees. So we can add. So that's how you record the payment. The student has paid 220 in total, and he has balance of 50,000. So if I want to see the receipt, I can go to the payments, go to payments. So this is the student. He has paid 220, and this is the receipt. So the receipt gives the details. He has paid school fees of that, library building fund of that, and library fees. So the total amount is that. You can print this receipt and give to the student in case you have receipt printers at the school. So let's get back. So that's how you record the first payment. In case you want to edit the fee structure for a student, maybe through negotiations, you can decide to give some discounts to a parent. You can do it, and this is where you do it from. So I'm going to edit the school fees for Chembo Shivan. So Chembo Shivan, who has been paying 270, I'm going to give her a discount. Now for the case of school fees, she no longer pays 200,000. She will be paying 150 as the school fees, and then she will pay the library fee and the building fund. So we can add. So Chembo Shivan no longer pays 270. She now pays 220,000. So that is if you want to edit the fee structure and give the student the discount. What about if you want to give the student bursary? So for the case of bursaries, this is where we manage them from. The first thing you have to do is to set the bursary categories. So go to the bursary categories here, and then add the bursary categories. I'm going to add 3 kinds of bursaries, or 2, it depends. So the first bursary, I can call it academic bursary. These are the performers. This is for students for the best performing students. So this bursary will be covering the school fees, and we shall pay the whole amount for the student. It will cover the building fund, and it will cover the library fees. So what this means is that this bursary is going to cover everything for the student, and the student will not pay anything. So let us save this bursary. Let's add another kind of bursary. Add new bursary category. This one is called half bursary. This is for the average performing students. So it depends, you don't have to put these ones. It depends on the bursaries that you have at your school. So this bursary, it will cover half of the school fees. So if school fees is 200,000, then the school will pay, or the sponsor will pay 100,000 for the student, and then the student pays the rest. Let's say the sponsor pays 120 for the student. It means if school fees is 200,000, the student will pay the rest. Then the bursary will cover the building fund and the library fees. So it means it will pay the whole of the building fund, the whole of the library fees, and then part of the school fees we save. The third category, I can call it the football bursary for the footballers. This one will cover full school fees, and that's all. The sponsor will only pay school fees. He will not pay the building fund. He will not pay the library fees. So we can add. So those are the three kinds of bursary categories that we have. So how do we add a student on bursary? Go to this page. Let us first see which student we shall add. I think we should add Angomia Steven and Ampuera Mark on bursary. So let's go to students on bursary. Then we add student on bursary. The first one was Angomia Steven. We shall give him an academic bursary because he is very good at performing, and then the bursary is sponsored by the school. So don't forget to click this if the school is the one that will be paying money for that student. We can add. What it means is that when the school is paying for that student, now the system will deduct money from the fee structure, meaning that the student is not going to pay anything in the school. This one will go into the school expenditure. If the sponsor is external and it's not the school, it means that the system expects money to be received until the sponsor pays for that student. The student will still have a debt to pay. So we have added Stephen to the academic bursary. Let's see in our student fees. So Stephen, because he is on the academic bursary, is not supposed to pay anything. Let's also add Ampuera Mark to the bursary. We go to bursary, students on bursary. Then we add Ampuera Mark. This one is an average performer. So some of the money would be paid by the school. So Ampera Mark, he's no longer paying 270. He will now be paying 80,000, because remember, the school pays 120 on school fees. It pays library fees. It pays building fund. So Ampera Mark is only left with 80,000 shillings to pay. Okay, so that's how you add student on bursary. That's how you record student payment. That's how you generate the receipt. And I think that's all. We have seen how to edit the fee structure. I think some of the other things I will record another video. Of course, there is a lot to learn on this system. But for now, let us stop from here. I wish you the best.